Welcome back to Mystic Like My Mama, a podcast presented by Ask Penjie. I'm Isabella, and this is my mama, Tina, and we are a mother-daughter duo and the co-founders of Ask Penjie. In this show, we'll talk about accessing your intuition and how we integrate ancient wisdom into our modern lives. Welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Happy Mother's Day weekend. That seems really fitting for launching our episode this
Yes,
weekend.
yes, yes, yes. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
I just want to say happy birthday to you. This is your big birthday week.
Thank you.
So we had a good week. That was amazing.
Very exciting. I have my birthstone emerald themed birthday nails.
They're so pretty.
Speaking of crystals and gemstones,
I
very,
love
very shimmery.
I love that color.
Thank you. Me too. It's a color I don't normally wear, so I'm really enjoying it. Every time I look at my nails, I'm like, whoa,
Mm.
and it's new. I like it.
Your birthday nails.
Want to see something different.
Amazing. Okay, this is our deck that we're going to use today for our card pull. It's actually
That
called,
matches your nails.
oh my God, it actually does match. It's called the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. It's so pretty, this deck. I love it.
Love Rebecca.
You actually chose the deck this week.
hmm I
I
think
was,
we used it one other time. I can't remember. Did we? We might have used it one other time, but I love this deck.
did we? I don't know. I have so many of hers that I don't know
It's
which one I did, but this is the
I,
one we were feeling for today.
I don't know
Okay.
either. Every time we've used this one, it's like, I don't know, it's always like on the nose. So I felt,
Oh, but this one is so great. The Rose Oracle. Yeah, for Mother's Day weekend. Okay. And my grandma would have been 101 this weekend,
that's,
actually.
that's so crazy.
Your great grandmother.
Wow.
Okay. Anyways, let me see. Oh, you know what? I just realized there's always like a card in there that's like, part of the deck or the instructions. I don't know. I just saw it. I feel like it's mixed in there or something.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
okay. Okay. So we're asking everyone, we're inviting everyone to think of a message that they're waiting to hear. Think of something that would be soothing. Think of something that would guide a decision that you have to make, or just kind of shift your energy and be surprised by the message that you're getting today. So let me mix them up a little bit and we'll pick a card. And I know sometimes it might be confusing. I had somebody ask, how can it be the card for everyone? But
hmm
it's once we gather and we have all the energy together and we're all here and whoever's listening, um, y- you'd be surprised when you focus your energy and we all have a collective similar intention that the card that I choose will actually usually resonate with everyone that listens.
Yeah.
Have to. We're just setting
Yeah.
the intention
And
that
this is a different kind of reading too, because it's more general. It's more for the show, for everybody listening. And when you want to do a personal reading, you can go home and, hopefully we've encouraged some of you or learned, or maybe you already like cards and you can go do it. And yeah, so this is just like the general little like taste.
yes, that's a really good way to say it. Okay. All right. So here is our card for today. This is the message. Hopefully you thought of this too. Okay. The crowning,
Ooh.
initiation, thresholds, birth, rebirth, a seat at the table. Actually, I love this card. It actually speaks to our crystal of the week, actually, that you're going to hear about later. Isn't that isn't that interesting? The crowning, so kind of like a rebirth. So that's always beautiful to think of, kind of like around your birthday, right? Sort of like new energy, sort of like a rebirth, and you know. Okay, so let me read it to you. This one actually has a guidebook. So it says, there comes a time when the flower knows that it can no longer remain in the protective constraints of the bud. Somehow it needs to trust in the birthing energy and surrender to the unknown of the bloom. This speaks to everything that we're birthing together, Bella. This is a
It's
really,
spring.
what?
Spring. It's very springy.
Yes, yes, yes. And spring, yes. The same birthing energy exists within all of nature and in birth, both physical and metaphorical. It's an initiation for the mother as well as the child who transitions from the water world of the womb to a whole new one on earth. Wow, this is a great Mother's Day card, actually, right? I don't even know if I've ever chosen this card, actually, at
Really?
all. No, because I do a lot of card readings for people and for clients, and I don't think I've ever come across this card for myself or them. This is a card of crossing thresholds and walking through the gates of initiation, which which requires great courage and faith. There are rolling contradictions, and it's almost always not straightforward. As we transition from one thing to another, we're called to burst through the constraints of the seed and then the certainty of the bud so that something new can bloom from within. We're always birthing something, and deep inside, we know that the only way to surrender to the initiation is to surrender to the innate power within. This power is inner, but it's also connected with the intelligence that exists within all life. It's the same energy that tells flowers when to bloom, and it was present when you grew in your mother's womb. Oh my God. Right?
Wow.
Trust in that it will carry you through. Surrender to what's wanting to be born through you. Life is always trying to initiate us into even more of who we truly are. Soul Inquiry asks, how is life trying to initiate you? I think that card is so spectacular. It's so beautiful for, gosh, Bella, you picked it. Like, I had,
No.
just so you know, I want to tell everyone, I had like two or three other decks that I thought would be like really cool for tonight. And I wasn't really feeling them. I really couldn't choose. And you said no to those. Like intuitively, you were feeling like that did not have our message. And so I hope you guys can see like you were really drawn to this deck, that's where the message was. And I think it was the most perfect message for a Mother's Day weekend episode. So I'm very grateful to you. I love this card actually.
Could you give, because you're really good at speaking to this, do you have any ideas or examples of like things that this relates to, like to someone who doesn't know? Like, like if you're not birthing a child, what does it mean to step into that blooming period or to like having new ideas, having new, like what are, for you, what does that look like sometimes?
Well, I let me think about that. Really good question. Um, I feel like it kind of speaks to our topic for today, actually, which is going to be kind of circled around manifestation. And when we're always having new desires and we're always manifesting the next thing. And we're always manifesting, whether it be a feeling, a person, a situation, we're kind of always evolving because when you stand still, you're not moving, right? There's always like kind of movement. Um, and when you're it makes me think of this actually. Whenever you are birthing something new, whether it be a time in your life, a new phase, a new adventure, things like that, it's simultaneously a miracle and very painful. It can be exciting, it can be thrilling, it can be nerve-wracking, it can involve a lot of waiting and
Yeah,
wondering and uncertainty, which makes us feel, basically very uncomfortable to go through those growth stages, right? And so, kind of like birth, it's sort of like you and I are in the midst of birthing something new together, right? And it's not easy and it's worthwhile, but it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. And
right.
it kind of where it says initiation threshold, like when you're crossing over and you're leaping into a new, realm, so to speak, it is like birth and rebirth is very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It can
like
be painful.
yeah, you think of like the caterpillar to butterfly to cocoon, um, creation and birth and all these things, as beautiful as they are, can seem or feel very destructive. It's very messy. It can be very traumatic for people. It's very intense. It's like one of, whether it's like literal in the literal sense or metaphorically, like creating something new is can be very traumatic. It's very intense because it's such a dramatic shift, and um, you have to be strong enough to withstand it, to go through, to be able to see your creation born and just experience that.
Yes, and it involves a lot of surrender and
The,
acceptance and
the caterpillar has to be very, very brave to become the butterfly.
you're talking about butterflies. That's
Oh, a little foreshadowing.
that's a perfect segue to what we're going to talk about, actually.
Yay. Okay, so our theme for today's episode is signs, synchronicities, angel numbers, and what does that mean? What are they? And how do they come into play when we're waiting on our whatever it is we're birthing, creating, manifesting,
Desiring.
the when you're in that we're calling it, we're really onto the word right now, liminal space, which means the space between things. It can be a transitional space, it could be the waiting period. It's that kind of like icky, uncomfortable, dirty cocoon energy where you're like, ugh, I'm in my cocoon, but I'm not a caterpillar and I'm not a butterfly and I don't know my identity and I can't you can't hold on to it 100%. You can't grasp it quite because it's the identity in the middle. You're not quite the old identity, not quite the new identity, and you're moving from one experience to the next. So we're going to be talking about how sign synchronicities and all these things help us during that liminal space of waiting for our creations and desires. Woo!
Yes. Ooh, just a couple little topics like that.
A light little title, light little theme, nothing too or intense or anything.
And now we understand too why some people don't want to do it. Some people are so, like um they're so uncomfortable with change and they're so uncomfortable with wanting to manifest or, move forward. And I have been in that space too. And it's interesting right now I'm working on manifesting something. And I actually saw a video on Instagram by a guy named Jim Curtis, and it's so crazy because I really just went on. It just hacks my brain sometimes when I go on because I go on. I wanted to just check a message, but
Yeah,
then
you go on for one thing, you end up
yeah.
scrolling for an hour. You're
Yeah,
like,
and then I mean, to be honest with you, I forget why I even went on. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to check my messages. But he did a video, and I'm kind of new to his teachings, and he shared this video about a manifestation challenge, which I'm gonna have you guys all try actually, because I did it and it worked already so well. But it's basically where you focus on yellow butterflies. So I thought it was really crazy and ironic that you were talking about the cocoon and all that because I want to talk about the butterflies. So butterflies, so sometimes we have like signs and symbols and things that matter to us, right? Mine is not a yellow butterfly. I never choose a yellow butterfly. I've never said like, please, could I have a yellow butterfly to let me know that my manifestation is on its way or that everything's going to be all right. It's not something I normally choose. So it's interesting. And he even said to write it down. And I'm like, I'm not going to write it down. So I didn't, but it got into my head. So at night, I said, I'm grateful for all the yellow butterflies that are around, basically what he said. And then the next day, I went out, and before you know it, I look around, I see all these like beautiful flowers. Right above it is the yellow butterfly flying around, and I'm like, oh my God! It came within like 12 hours, the yellow butterfly. And I wasn't super focused, like, please, do I see a yellow butterfly? Like, where am I going to see it? And I want you guys to know, I was even going to talk about this later, but sometimes you don't know how it's going to appear. So let me just tell my story really quick.
yeah.
So what happened is that I intentionally yesterday, last night, and this morning said, okay, I need to see another. I'm telling the universe, okay, you gave me one yellow butterfly. I'm going to need two. Like, I'm going to need another. I'm so uncomfortable waiting for my news and my manifestation to come through in that liminal space where I'm just in discomfort. I'm like, can I just have another yellow butterfly, which will be my sign and symbol that things are working out the way that I desire. Okay.
Behind the scenes is loading.
Yeah.
It's
It's not necessarily here yet, but it's if you're working on it, that's fine. Take your time, but send me the signal that it's working out the way that I prefer. Okay.
your manifestations and desires are being packed at the Amazon warehouse. It's on its way. It's not delivered yet.
Exactly. So it's interesting. So then um I so because it was your birthday, I'm waiting on a birthday envelope for you to arrive, which is late and didn't arrive yet. And I send daddy out. I just had this thought upstairs. I'm just like, I send daddy out to the mailbox. I said, could you please go get the mail? Right. And he's like, oh, you didn't get the envelope. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's fine. And he goes, but you did get this one card. And I'm like, card? I'm like, that's so weird. I wasn't expecting this other card from a friend of mine. And a very dear friend of mine sends me like a postcard. And it's something that she bought, I don't even know, maybe like 2 years ago. She's even told me about it. I've even seen her since, but we have not come together for her to give me this postcard. And it turns out this postcard, she bought it for me, but it was like a synchronicity right there that the artist that did the artwork on the postcard okay, the story is that we were supposed to go to an event together. Sorry. Getting overwhelmed with my exciting story. We were supposed to go to an event together. I ended up canceling. I couldn't go. So she went with another friend. She ended up buying me this postcard there. She didn't know that the artist who designed the postcard was one of my absolute favorite artists. He's a local artist out of LA. And anyway, long story short, she decided to mail it. So today I get it and I come down and I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she mailed it. It's so sweet. Like who even mails stuff anymore, right? And I was like so excited to get mail.
Yeah,
Um,
that itself was so exciting. That's before you even do the artist thing.
right, exactly. Like that's so out of context, right? To get mail. We just don't get mail as often anymore. So the fact that she sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I love it. And she's so sweet. And I flip it over and what do you know? There was a sticker of a yellow butterfly that she put on the postcard. And I almost like lost my balance. Like my knees were weak. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. The yellow butterfly appeared. And you know, when like a sign or a synchronicity, which we're going to talk about again too. You know, sometimes it happens, but it's just mostly meaningful to you. Like you could tell someone like, yeah, I had this great story and I was trying to ask for a butterfly and then I got my butterfly and someone's like yawning, they're like, oh, that's nice. I'm glad you got
Very,
your butterfly.
it's very
It's
personal.
very personal and you're so invested in it. You know what I mean? And then it's so miraculous when it shows up like that. So expected, but yet unexpected. Like it's so funny because they should be like the norm, right? If we're in alignment and our frequency is aligning, the more we're in alignment, the more frequent our synchronicities are, but also the higher awareness, the more we notice.
There's
And the
also
more
a difference between, little moments of things that feel like coincidences or synchronicities and intentional things like this. Like,
Yes, doing it consciously.
yeah, I feel like I have because we're so aware. I feel like I have little moments of coincidences or synchronicities all the time. But when you have something intentional like this, like I'm gonna ask for this sign and then I
Hmm.
see it, and then it's so profound. Like you were in
Yeah.
tears holding that card. Like it's so different. It's so powerful. But like
Yeah.
I love that we can share it with each other and have like a safe space to share it because we know it's meaningful. But even then, sometimes I'm like, okay, because it's
Because
so
it just doesn't mean the same to the person that didn't experience it.
exactly
Yeah.
it's so different when it's to yourself. So
Yeah. So
if
don't be disappointed if you like share your synchronicities and someone's like, "Oh, that's so
response,
nice for you." Like I'm happy for you. But I want to just add as a side note is
add
that
one more
yeah.
thing. I just want to say, don't take it too harshly or literally. Like if people don't respond accurately, don't get in your head and be like, oh wait, maybe it's like not that big of a deal, or maybe it's not actually a good sign. Because no, it's personal. Like sometimes that you even just keep it to yourself. Just be like, that was really powerful and meaningful for me. Like other people's response does not downplay the fact that it was profound for you.
That's a really good point because I have once in a while like shared it and then, been disappointed that they didn't understand it. I'd be like, "Well, how do you not think that's like amazing and miraculous?"
And then maybe it makes you
Yeah.
say what you shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No expectations for sharing your synchronicities. But
Yeah.
as a side note, I want to say that they like we can be specific, but we don't have to be specific in how it appears. Meaning the first time it was a yellow butterfly, right? The second time it was a yellow butterfly sticker, right? Like it can appear in a book, like you have to leave that up to the universe, right? You can flip to a page and be like, oh my God, there's my butterfly. You can see a sticker on someone's car. You can see a billboard that's all, a field of yellow butterflies. Like, are you okay?
I hit my desk. Everything.
Okay.
Everything.
I thought you saw a butterfly. I'm like, there's a butterfly in the house. No, but it's like it can appear like, in like different ways, right? Like we don't have to specifically say, oh my God. I was just thinking to myself, I kind of have a yellow orange butterfly on my book actually.
That counts.
But I saw it in the back, like and I was like, oh my God, I'm like on my book I have a yellow orange butterfly. Okay. Anyway, so I'd like to actually explain what a synchronicity is and the term synchronicity, like where it comes from. So the term synchronicity was actually, it says coined by a psychotherapist in 1930, Carl Jung, of which he was a big proponent during his life of synchronicities. So he coined the term that we're all using, synchronicity. Jung described it as circumstances that appear meaningfully related yet lack a causal connection.
Hmm.
So again, this is what I'm going to tell you. A lot of people will write off the magic and miracles of the universe that surround us and call them like, oh, it's just a coincidence. Like, well, you're never going to say that if you're intentional, right? Because it's like, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's a coincidence. There was a yellow butterfly when I asked for one. So our intention matters. And if we're consciously creating and things like that, um,
I also want to add that, yeah, the main difference between synchronicities and coincidences is that people associate coincidences as logical. Like, oh, this and that equals why that happened, so it's just a coincidence. It just happens to be. Whereas synchronicity, you're letting kind of the magic exist a little bit. But I saw a quote on TikTok the other day that said, like your life is only as amazing as your ability to notice the positive things. Like you only experience as much amazing things as your ability to notice them. And that's what I think of when I think of synchronicities. It's like maybe to the naked eye, to someone who's not thinking like this, it is a coincidence, and that's fine. But if you're in that mindset of wanting it to be meaningful, it is. It doesn't have to be like some grand wizard magical thing. It's like it's just if you want it to be meaningful, it is. Just like if someone has like a lucky penny or a coin or a sock they wear when they won a sports game one time and they're like, yep, I have to always wear these now. Like just whatever it is, it's you're the one attaching meaning to it. So that's what the synchronicity is. Like it's powerful because you believe in it. So you don't, just like I said earlier, of not letting other people discount it, also don't let yourself downplay it because if you believe it's meaningful, it is. And that's synchronicity.
right. And I feel like that is the part of, sorry, what were you saying?
Just saying the intention and allowing yourself to find meaning.
Yes. And I feel like when you begin to, let's say, know that you are a spiritual being, and when you begin to kind of go down that path, you start to communicate with the divine. You start to communicate with, the magic and miracles and the universe and like a higher power. And I think for me, the reason that it mattered so much to me is that I didn't want to feel alone and I didn't want to feel fearful. And I was trying to find ways to cope and um, sort of, like you said, notice the miracles and opportunities that surrounded me. And so all of these things, like the angel numbers and everything like that, whether it be dreams or, things that are like um, considered synchronicities, right? Like that happen that we notice. It became like there became so many more, right? Because the more you notice, what you focus on expands. Like there would be more, and then there'd be another synchronicity. It's not like it happens 24/7, but it's just you live in that space
Mhm.
where synchronicities can occur and you're open to receiving them. And again, I just want to kind of reiterate that you grew up with this, but I didn't. So I didn't know about any of this. In fact, I don't think anyone knows this, but I like to say that I was living in that I came out of the spiritual closet because when I first got into all of these books and these teachers and things, this was actually before we had like Instagram and like social media as we know it now. And I started with books and I hid them in my closet because I really didn't want anyone to know. I had a closet with a shelf with all the books and all my little like crystals and everything. It was all hidden. I would shut the door and close the door. If anybody came over and I had a book out, I would hide it, cover it, something like that. I was in the spiritual closet.
You were
So
you were a closeted mystic.
yes. So I was kind of I was getting used to it myself. And that's something to remember for all of you that are listening. Sometimes when you go down a new path, um, you know, it's hard to explain. I don't know why this is coming up, but I feel like I need to say it just because I talked about it. But I've always told you since you were little that it's not about keeping secrets, right? Like I wasn't trying to hide it from people and keep a secret. I was trying to keep it sacred. I
Hmm.
was trying to figure out, and a lot of times when we're into something new, we're trying to see how we feel about it before we want anyone's judgment or opinion or outside. We're not even strong enough ourselves with it. Um, and we're not stable, and until you kind of get some stability and get your ground, I didn't want anyone to know because, again, it wasn't a secret. It was just something new that I was kind of like looking into.
You were still in the cocoon part
Yes.
of the learning. And when you're in that phase, sometimes you're not ready to be seen yet. It's growing. You're in the bud. The bud is not ready to perform until it's ready to bloom. It's
Yes.
still building away.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's what happens when you start looking to the universe to commune with you and you start asking for help and you start speaking to your guides and your angels and the archangels and synchronicities. So let's talk about signs also, and then we'll bring together the signs, synchronicities, and angel numbers. But we're always looking for a sign. Did you ever see on Instagram? They're always like, if you're looking for a sign, this is it. And it says like, here's your sign.
I've also seen the exact opposite videos where I'm scrolling and it's like, this is your sign. Don't text them. This is not the sign not to. Because there's so many videos that are like, this is your sign. Then people are like writing in the comments like, wait, should I text them? Should I this? Should I that? And then some people make like these joke videos like, this is your sign not to. And then that always cracks me up.
I like that too, because that might be a good sign as well, actually. But I liked okay, so signs can also be like for me, one of my biggest signs that I like tell the universe is a rainbow. You know that I am the lady that screams for rainbows, cries for rainbows, wake you up for rainbows. If there's a rainbow or I feel a rainbow coming or something, I will go crazy because that is my sign from the universe that I am okay, that everything's going to be okay. To me, there's nothing more magical than a rainbow. That's just my personal opinion. You know that. You have lived with me.
And
Oh,
they follow you around. They always it manages to show up when you need it. So it's always there.
yeah.
I'll never forget it. The most memorable. I have a lot of memorable memories of mom pointing out rainbows because it happens all the time. But specifically the most memorable one is I don't know how old I was. I must have been 6. I don't remember. But I was in the bathtub in Arizona and while we were living there and I was in the bath and I was like playing with the bath toys or something and you're like come running in like yelling there's a rainbow and you like get me out of the bath like put me in a towel like something and then
Full of bubbles and suds and everything. I literally like bubble bath. I was like, you need to get out of the tub for this
and
one. Like,
in my head I'm just like oh my God this is like really important like whatever's happening this is really important and it was
yeah.
just a rainbow.
Yes, I know. I am that person actually.
But it's
So signs like people can say, "Oh, that's my sign." And the more psychic, the more clairvoyant, the more intuitive you become, signs tell you your messages. So like, if you ever listen to a medium like Teresa Caputo or something like that, the Long Island medium, like she'll say, I'm seeing a red rose. That's my sign for your loved one who's crossed over, who blah, 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 blah. Like she'll say, that's my sign. Like,
yeah.
so signs are very important. And for me, I always had a term called spiritual amnesia. Yes? Are you raising your
Oh,
hand?
this term you're getting to is really good. I like when you talk about them. But I was gonna say I just thought of something.
Yeah.
Like a way I would define it when you said the Teresa thing. The way I would define a sign is like it's like shorthand with the universe.
Oh, I love that. That's really good.
Yeah, because it's summing up. Because maybe it's not speaking in direct words to you, but it's summing up a confirmation or something you're trying to figure out or converse with your guides or the other side or whatever you believe in. It's just like it's a shorthand with something higher.
It's a shorthand and it's like another language because it's different for everyone because it comes through the filter of you and your life and your experiences and your thoughts and things like that. So it is like another language, a shorthand, just it's really your shorthand between you and the universe. It's going
Yeah.
to be different for everyone. Like it's not
Mhm.
going to be the same for everyone.
Totally.
So what I was saying before is I came up with this word, spiritual amnesia, because like one minute, the day before you're like, oh my God, the universe, it's amazing, blah blah blah, and the next day you wake up and you're just like everything is horrible and I'm nervous again and I forgot everything and I forgot that I'm a spiritual being in a human body, and that's part of what I love is that these signs and synchronicities and angel numbers became my connection to the universe. So it'd be like my little like God wink, like, that I would forget and be like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm worrying. I'm, like, my energy is not aligned. And then I would have to remember. So I would see like 11:11 and be like, oh my God, 11:11. Or, we'd be like driving in the car and, we'd be checking all the license plates, right? And we still do it. We still do it to this day. Like, maybe we're kind of nervous or we're lost or something like that. And then next thing you know, we see like 444. And we're like, and we know the angel messages now. So that is our shorthand for like, oh, okay, everything's going to be all right and traffic's going to be okay. And, because it's our little constant reminders, right? And it makes me remember to pay attention. So to me, it's more playful.
Yeah, it's playful, it's light. It makes you remember you're part of something bigger. You're part of
Mhm.
a big orchestra. There's things happening behind the scenes. You're not alone. And even when it seems like stuff isn't happening or isn't working out yet how you envisioned it, it's, like, okay, there's movement, there's stuff happening around me, I'm being looked out for. It's a reminder. No matter what you believe in, whatever energy, religion, universe, God, whatever it is you believe in, you're letting something bigger than you remind you that it's there and supporting you.
I love that. That's really beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when we have synchronicities and when we see signs and when we see angel numbers and things like that, um, it kind of reminds us that we're in alignment. We're on the right path. We're paying attention. We're tuned into our intuition. Maybe we're connecting with our higher selves, whatever you want to call it. But on our journey of manifesting and our journey of living and stepping forward, I just feel like the more we pay attention and the more we notice signs and synchronicities and things like that, the more they will appear faster and more frequently and things like that. I have a couple things that I like saved that I wanted to read actually regarding it. Maybe it'll just sort of hit for somebody. It says, there's no such thing as chance in our incredible universe. The coincidences and synchronicities are carefully orchestrated by your guides and angels. So recognize them as the hand of spirit. And also signs from our loved ones that have crossed over. Every time you pull away and you drive by your, like without me, I always send Papa.
Hmm.
Like I always send Papa Mike, which is my dad who crossed over next month 9 years ago. I always say I can't go with her, so I'm sending Archangel Michael, whoever else I decide to send with you. And then I always send Papa Mike. I'm like, please you go with her because I can't be with her. And it just brings a lot of peace. It eases a lot of anxiety for me to believe in that. I'm not asking other people to do what I do. This is what we are sharing what worked for us, like what really helped us. And it just says start to expect them and look for them. Look for these signs. Like sometimes I ask my dad, like, are you with me? Like, are you in the car? What do you think about what I'm doing? What do you think about what decisions I'm making? And then next thing you know, I'll hear a song that's like my dad's song, or it'll say something in the song regarding what I asked. Like, it's just stepping outside of ourselves to believe in something bigger, like you said. Synchronicity is also a reminder to you that all things happen in divine timing. So I have a saying um, that I used to say since you guys were little, actually, and I used to say, always perfect divine timing. And even I forget. even I forget and I'm like, how come it hasn't happened? And I want it faster and I want the certainty and I'm very uncomfortable and I don't want to be in the liminal. I don't want to be in that space. It's just
Nobody
yucky.
does. Nobody does.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
for me, I have like just another example of signs that can come up. A lot of my signs often look like something I was thinking about or talking about. Someone else will mention, like randomly that I didn't tell them about. Like if I thought of something or it's on my head or I'm thinking about it or whatever, and then I go talk to a friend and then they're like, guess what I did or what I whatever. I'm like, wait, that's the thing, or like that's whatever I was thinking about. So sometimes the sign, yeah, that's what mine are like a lot. I also have the mystical, magical ones like butterflies and that kind of fun stuff. But a lot of my
Hummingbirds. Hummingbirds.
oh yeah, my sign is a hummingbird. But I have those, and that happens to me all the time. I just saw a hummingbird the other day, and that's just an example of a sign that I was intentional about. Like um, my story was when I can't remember how old I was, but I was little and I was sitting in the backyard and I was feeling very anxious, and I don't remember what it was specifically. I just remember how I felt. I remember I was very uncomfortable and I didn't know how to feel about something that was coming up. And I saw a hummingbird and I remember thinking like, mm, everybody's always told me that hummingbirds, can't stay in one place very long. And you see one, they come and go really quick. And I was sitting there feeling anxious or sad and feeling whatever I was feeling. And this hummingbird stayed there with me for like 20, 30 minutes, like outside, just nearby. And I remember being so shocked by it at that age because I was like, I thought they can't do that. Like, I thought, I don't know. It just left such an imprint on me that I was like, I feel like this hummingbird is telling me that all is well. Like, everything is going to be okay. And so since that like little age of having that moment with that hummingbird, it became like one of those signs that every time I need to hear all is well, I'll see a hummingbird, real or not real, like on a card or something. But that's an example of one of my intentional ones. And then yeah, my other signs that I get a lot are like coincidences, synchronicities, like talking about seeing someone talk about something I just talked about or vice versa. This can get a little tricky in our modern day and age
I
because
was just gonna say that.
we have very advanced technology living within all of us. And I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you have experiences like this where you think of something or you look something up and then another app advertises it, or like, I was just browsing for that product and now it's advertising.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's not
So
a synchronicity.
maybe that's not a synchronicity. So
Yeah.
back in the day, I think I was a little more trusting of like like everything was a synchronicity to me. And
Hmm.
not that it can't be now, because like again, if you give it meaning, it has meaning. So that's all it needs to be. But I
Yeah.
will say in this modern day and age, for the most part, I trust a synchronicity and a sign much more when it's in the natural world. Like when it's
Yeah.
coming from me or
But
you or something I see,
yeah.
like you said, a billboard or a car sticker or
Mhm.
something. Not that you can't have them online or on your phone or whatever. That's amazing. You can. But yeah, a lot of times they're more impactful for me when I'm like, it's definitely not my iPhone listening to me.
But yeah, exactly. No, but I have that. I've had that so many times over the years. Like, I will think about a book, right? And then next thing you know, somebody else is like, you won't believe it, but I got this book. And I'd be like, no way, that's so crazy. Me too. But also, like, there's been times when I've had a book and I've opened it, just like opened it randomly to a page and I'd be like, oh, this is so interesting. I'd be like,
Oh,
oh my God.
this
Uh-oh.
this is my favorite sign. This is
Okay.
a great example. So this is like, I don't want to interrupt you if you want to keep going, but this is a huge one for me. Um, Movies and books, so like a good my sister and I were just using this example of like a good wine. Sometimes you buy a book you plan to watch a movie, but you don't do it right away. So I could have a book that's been sitting on my shelf for years that I have not touched yet, and it's like a wine cellar. Like there's nothing wrong with it. You buy a book and sometimes you're not meant to do it yet, and it's meant to rest and sit and do its thing, and you pick it up sometimes and you don't know why, but you'll be called to it when it's time. So I had this crazy experience where there's this book that I bought and I wanted to read it so bad, and I hadn't read it yet, and I ended up being like, oh, I'm going on a trip, like I'll take it with me. And I don't even know. I had other books to read, but I picked that one, and I opened to the first page on the plane. I was flying to Chicago. Literally, the first page, it takes place in like Illinois or Chicago, wherever I was going. And I was like, this is insane. Like, I didn't know this, and I brought this. This is the only book I brought with me for the flight. And so yeah,
I
that's
love
what
that.
but yeah. So like I said, with the it being a tricky thing with all the technology and everything, one of my other favorite ways is in a movie. Like if a movie was made in the 1950s that I'm watching and they mentioned something that I was thinking or feeling and I just happened to put on that movie that day, to me that's always like a huge divine. I'm like, how is that possible? You know?
Yes. And just like intuition, I feel like I just want to tell everyone, I want to invite everyone to experience these magic and miracles. Like really, really appreciate them and enjoy them. Like we don't need to ignore them or dismiss them. You know what I mean? Like even if you don't believe or something like that, if you start to kind of play with it a little bit and just have a little more fun, it's much more enjoyable, right? Because it's like dismissing our intuition. You know, we don't want to be doing that. We want to be listening. We want to be like, um, you know, um, we want to just have more love and compassion for ourselves and know that that might help you to ease anxiety, to, help you during your grief, to help you during your, you know, that discomfort of uncertainty, right? Because that's what we wanted to talk about earlier is that a lot of times we're in the space of waiting. And what do you do when you're in that liminal space of waiting? You're just in between this and that, and you're waiting. You're waiting to hear about a job. You're waiting to hear about somewhere you're going to move. You're waiting to hear about if someone's coming to visit.
Yeah.
You have more idea
I was
examples?
hear, back from someone you reached out to, waiting to
Yeah.
hear like a grade from school, waiting to hear if you got a car you were looking to purchase. The
Mhm.
waiting, just there's any example in the world. We have so many periods where we're in that, we're between, we're waiting.
Yeah, and I think that this for me became a way to anchor my energy, right? And it became a way for me to ease, some of that discomfort and that anxiety. So I really enjoyed it. So like we all learned it together and we kind of grew, a practice, I would say. So I just feel like the more intentional you can be, um, the more ease you will have making it through all the changes of life and all the adventures and growth that we go through. So, I have a really cool little, did you want to say anything to that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it helps you be in more of a state of flow and less resistance.
Yes.
Be more trusting.
Yes. I wanted to share this little prayer for you that I have, and I don't know who said it or how. I just had it saved on my phone actually, but it says, "Higher self, go before me." Is it okay if I share it? Okay. It says, "Higher self, please go before me. Guide me to what will allow me to embody my soul's highest expression in this lifetime. Open my path to opportunities that align with my highest good. Steer me away from distractions that detract from my purpose. Illuminate my decisions with clarity and insight. Infuse my actions with love and compassion. Lead me to encounters that inspire growth, understanding, and connection. Help me recognize the signs and synchronicities that are messages from the universe. Grant me the courage to follow my heart, the strength to face challenges with grace, and the wisdom to find joy in every moment."
That's beautiful. I love that. Very nice.
So
Really, really quick before we go into our
I
Christmas.
just had one more thing to say
Oh, yeah,
about the
yeah,
signs.
yeah.
Well, just so you guys have to figure out how the universe best speaks to you. So for me, a lot of times it's through music, but my all-time number one way that the universe communicates with me and that I notice signs and symbols, license plates.
Mm-hmm.
So I've even written some down so I would have them like in my notes, like, oh my God, I was thinking of this thing. And the next thing you know, I saw a message on the license plate. And sometimes I'll be talking to someone and then I'll be driving and I'll see a message on the license plate. And then I'll tell them, I say, you won't believe it. We were just talking about this thing. And then the license plate had this message. And then so pay attention to where you receive your messages, is what I was going to say.
You might notice little patterns, like they come up again.
Yeah.
Really quick before we go into Crystal of the Week, I just wanted to add that something that helps us a lot when we're in these liminal spaces or periods of time is Penji. Because if I'm ever feeling, because like I said, these spaces are easier to manage and navigate when you're less in resistance and you're more trusting and in flow. So for me, sometimes I'll be like, I'll ask Penji, like let's use the example of the car thing, right? I could ask Penjie, like, what's the percentage, or, am I going to get this thing? And, if it says yes, just having that little confidence of, oh, babe, okay, maybe it is going to work out. Maybe it's all going to be okay, helps you relax in that period of waiting because you're like, okay, I know it's going to be okay. I know it's going to come. All I have to do is just be willing to be patient and gracefully flow through it. So,
Yes.
Penjie,
Penjie.
play.
Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't mention Penjie because Penjie is the thing that helps us all the time with easing anxiety and being in that waiting period. But Penjie has like so many P words that it helps with, like pause, presence. Penjie helps bring us into the present moment, right? Because we don't want to be in the future all the time, future tripping, where like I'll be happy when I get the job, I'll be happy when I get the house, I'll feel better once this happens, I'll feel, but it brings us, peace and presence in the present moment,
Well, and
which is where our power is for
think of
manifesting
we all think that life is the
better.
destinations. It's,
Mhm.
your birthdays, it's the weddings, it's the events, it's this, but really life is the things in between. Like it's the journey in between. Like they say, not to be cliche, but they say life is a journey, not a destination, and that's true. So most of life, it's kind of an illusion that we arrive to something because normally as soon as we do arrive to the thing, there's another thing that we're waiting for or working towards. So we spend most of our lives in these liminal spaces.
Mhm.
So learning how to be more comfortable in them is really helpful and efficient because otherwise you're spending most of your time in that um, experience. And if that's like a really hard experience for you, then that means 90% of your life is going to be really uncomfortable and really hard because that's what most of life is this space of building up the next thing or working towards something or and this it applies to so many different categories. Like even if we think we get one thing sorted out, we almost always have another thing that then we're balancing or working towards. So yeah, Penjie, these things, signs, they all help us feel more comfortable in these liminal spaces and transitional times because that's most of what life is. Um, so with that, we can jump into Crystal of the Week.
Yes. Okay. So I love this is one of my favorite crystals, but I always have a hard time like pronouncing it. But this crystal of the week is this blue crystal, and I feel like it's a really great crystal for birthing and everything like that, and your birthday this week. It's called dumortierite, and it represents like a reset. It's known as like a reset button. So like starting over, resetting, kind of like how you feel on your birthday. Maybe you're like resetting for the year. It's another trip around the sun and you're starting over it. So it helps to like release stagnant energy. It says it's good for meditation and sleep. Um, it's good for rejuvenation, releasing resistance, um, restores our alignment, and it helps us like step into a new path, a new identity. So just remember it's like a reset button. So I really like that. I wanted to see if there's something also promotes digestion. It's
Ooh,
actually a good crystal for digestion. I think it's important to remember that when we are going down a new path, right, and we are trying to do something new or something like that, we do need to kind of like reset ourselves and reset our energy. And sometimes we have to reset our thoughts and beliefs so we can think new thoughts and have new beliefs and things like that. So this is a wonderful stone for that. Um, there was something else I was going to tell you about this stone. Um, I feel like we need this stone when we are doing like not just a rebirth but like a restoration, sort of like like a remodeling, and we're doing a lot of that inner work and things like that. This can be a really powerful stone to have by your side. It's very pretty. It's blue.
love it, love it, love it. Well, thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode. And once again, I wanted to remind you to go to all of our links down below. And if you haven't already, sign up for our email list because we are going to be launching Ask Penjie Society, which is a community where you'll be able to learn all of the stuff and talk to like-minded people and figure it all out. And we'll be learning more and teaching stuff about Penjie. So that's amazing. Tap into that. And we also have a link down below for Dreamy Moons for 10% off for Ask Penjie. And we have just so many exciting things on the up and up coming up. So drop your email, stay tuned, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, subscribe here if you haven't, like, and keep following for more because we're
Yeah.
so happy to be here.
Yes, that was so beautiful, Bella. And you know what else? Like, I really just want to like say, also, share with us, like, reach out to us again. Like, if you have questions, comments, things like that, try the, manifestation challenge that I did. Try to do it with yellow butterflies. You can do it with, red cardinals. You can do it with a blue bird, whatever you want. Like, do it with, a tiny little elephant, whatever like matters to you, but challenge yourself to create some synchronicities and signs from the universe, and then reach out to us and let us know how that goes for you.
Absolutely. I would love, 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 love if any of you have like an experience. If you maybe you just pick a sign, maybe leave us a comment below and tell us what your sign is that you're hoping to see. Maybe you haven't seen it yet, but you're setting the intention right here and now and being like, okay, this is going to be my sign. I'm going to be on the lookout for it next week. So who knows? You might just see it. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Mystic Like My Mama.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.